All right, fellas. Hey, we're live. Welcome to KBN Live International Edition. We're we're bringing Richard Ofner down from it used to be called the Great White North, but I don't think you can say that anymore. So the Great North from Canada. So Richard, we appreciate you joining the show. I'm Jeff Malott, and my partner Ryan Lambert up there, of course, back down in Florida. So we're excited to get Richard on after his big win over the weekend at the Border City Classic.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. So, Richard, thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Before we talk about the actual tournament and how it went for you, you want to give us a little history on that tournament itself?
Well, back about 2 years after I started fishing, out of a kayak, either way, fishing. But a friend of mine asked me to start an event here in Windsor, and he was running events across Canada, so I started an event, the Border City Classic, 2011. There was 27 anglers, and just a funny note there. You guys familiar with Blacktip H? Blacktip H, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's the #1 fishing channel. He fished in the tournament that year. He just grew up down the road here. Josh Jorgensen.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, and we went. Another year I think we went up to 39 or 40, and then my American friends that I was fishing with, they came out, they joined in, and in 2015 we had 130 anglers. It was still a one-day event, and it was a Canadian qualifier for the Hobie Worlds, and in 2016 we went to two-day event, and it was an American and Canadian qualifier. We ran it up to 2018, and then last year the Hobie Boss took its place, and this year the Michigan Kayak Trail. They asked if they could bring the Border City Classic back, and even though COVID kind of messed up the plans a little bit, we still had 66 anglers, and it was a pretty good turnout. We kept the American anglers off our side, like last year. I think all the top finishers were American, and they were over here on this side. Matt Scotch, Christine, Eric Siddiqui, Jeff Fader, there was a whole RJ. There was a whole bunch of them. They knew where the fish were.
So that brings about a question. I mean, I heard, hey, this is kind of rigged because the Canadians won't let us come onto their water and they keep it closed. So give some folks a little bit. I mean, guys that aren't familiar with the northern lakes. So Canada has it pretty much shut down, until after the spawn. Is that correct? Is that what they try to do? As far as protecting the species, or how does that work?
Well, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but apparently our M&R thinks they're smarter than the University of Michigan, that did a study starting in 2005. They did a 10-year study where they opened up the catch and release on Lake St. Clair, and after 10 years, it showed that it didn't hurt the spawn at all. Actually, the bass in the last 10 years have prospered. I mean, they're bigger, they're more, and they in 2015 they opened the catch and release season all year. So Canada, we don't open till the 4th June fourth Saturday in June, and that's just the way it is. I've pleaded with the MNR, and they don't even know. They made the comment that, well, that's because we're further north than Michigan on Lake St. Clair. And I said, you need to look at a map, buddy. And this guy only lives 100 miles away. Like, the big joke when I tell people, maybe you Southerners don't realize, we live south of Michigan, south of Detroit. So Lake St. Clair, we're more south than Michigan is. And so the water doesn't get touched. So the Border City Classic, everyone loves coming over here to fish because there's no pressure on the bass. So they're in their post-spawn, near the end of their spawn, some of them. I take this week off every year now. It's the best time to fish. I went out today. Really? I got 97 inches I did better than I did on Saturday by noon, and that was a slow
that
bite.
Sounds like Gunnersville in March. That's a great smallmouth bite.
You know how many boats I had out with me? One.
No.
For as far as I could see.
How did you pull
one
that
boat?
Off, dude? Here, like all the Corona lockdown, everyone that has a boat, a kayak, a freaking inflatable inner tube, like they're on the water every day. You can't even get onto the lakes out here. It's crazy.
Well, every year that we've had the Border City Classic on the opener, we've had to contend with a lot of bass boats and power boats out fishing, recreational guys. And this year, I think I saw two fishing boats, and I was asking, I said, where are all the fishermen? Apparently, I never realized they're all Americans that pop over. Now they're over here. I can be in Grosse Pointe. I can be in Grosse Pointe. It's 6 miles from my house by the crow flies. So we were getting a lot of the American anglers were coming over here on our opener, because I guess Canadians don't like to fish for bass. I don't know. They're crazy for walleye, but they don't fish for bass. So we had the lake to ourselves.
That's awesome.
And I did today, and I'm going to tomorrow, and I'm going again Thursday. So I take the week off just to go out there and catch a bunch of bass, big ones.
That's awesome, man. I looked at some of your fish from your stringer over the weekend, and those fish are freaks of nature. All your bass were 19 inches, number one, in your limit, 19 or better. And they were freaks the way they were shaped. I mean, from mouth to tail, they were like just pure muscle.
Footballs.
Yeah.
They're footballs. They today I got them even bigger. I got a 20-inch, 19 3/4, 19 and a half, 19 1/4. They disqualified my. I'm in a week-long tourney for Ontario Kayak Bassmasters, and they disqualified my 19 because half of the number 7 of my 3-digit identifier wasn't showing because the tag on my glove covered it. So they disqualified it.
So you're telling me those cats up there enforce the rules? That's good.
I won't post it. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Yeah, no,
but,
you got to keep quiet on stuff like that.
Yeah. I had an 18 and a half to go anyway, so tomorrow I'll go and put a few more 20s up.
There you go. All right. What's the bite like up there? Is it moving baits? Like you fishing the bottom? What's your preferred presentation? If you could catch them one way, how would you do it?
Oh heck, I'd love to throw a crankbait and catch them like that. Right. Not really. I don't like pulling out the trebles.
Not really.
But
Just kidding.
the swim bait, a Kitech swim bait. That's a lot of fun. And unfortunately, I had 10 rods with me. I used every rod. A damn Ned rig. It's the last thing I pull out, and that's what I catch fish on. And then I put it back, and I tried the other rods. Nothing. I bring the Ned rig out again, I catch fish. Today, same thing. I tried all 9 rods before I put the Ned rig out. That's all I caught fish.
I probably catch 90% of my smallmouth on the Ned rig. Usually the bigger ones are on something else, but for numbers of like 18 to 20-inch smallmouth, it's good old Ned. Hard to beat. Smallmouth love it.
Oh, no. The 20s and 21s love the Ned rig, too. So does 30-inch pike, if you're lucky enough to get it in the mouth before they get it on the line.
I don't have to play with those, thankfully. Catfish, drum. That's what I have to contend with down here.
I did a
the
little
bite was so good these last 2 days. I did not catch one single drum or one single catfish. We got plenty of them, too.
I like to throw the Ned when I go creek fishing up here and I catch 10-inch smallmouth, so I can't even really talk about that.
All right.
Yeah. So, Richard, where St. Clair is a bucket list lake for me. I've never been up there. Ryan, you been up there? You fished that? No?
Nope.
I mean, looking on the map, it's just a big bowl, it looks like. What kind of structure and cover are you guys targeting up there to catch these big smallmouth?
Well, if you don't know the lake, when someone comes to fish the first time, I say, if you know how to read side imaging, put that screen full width on the bottom. Put your sonar, put your down imaging on top, put your side imaging on the bottom, and then we'll start hitting your waypoints. You need your GPS up there too, your Navionics, whatever, and then you look for the structure. You look for some rocks, a little bit of grass and weed. Throw your bait out at it, and that's how you catch a fish.
Look for weed, you say?
A little bit of grass, some rocks. This time of year.
I got you.
We got lots of weed.
All right. Look for the weed. Got it.
Yeah. But come the second week of July, they're gone deep, and it's if you want to take your kayak out 5-6 miles, that you're not going to get much to bite on. Then when I go to the east end of Lake St. Clair and fish for largemouth in the reeds.
How deep does that lake get when you get out in it?
There's a channel that the shipping channel. It's 30 feet, so it comes down from the Detroit River straight up to the St. Clair River up to Lake Huron. So, and that's why our water is a little bit cooler than some of the other lakes in eastern Ontario, and their bass season opens up the third Saturday. And I could never figure it out until I just fished another tournament a week ago on their opener, and their water temperature is actually warmer, but it's a colder climate. And now I realize it's the water coming down from Lake Huron keeps our lake a little bit cooler.
So I've heard that pleasure boat traffic is pretty heavy at times on St. Clair. Is that
on the U.S. side?
On the U.S. Okay, only the U.S. side are out partying. All right, got it.
Yeah, it seems that you get a little bit of chop out there, and the cruisers don't even go out here on the Canadian side. I was out on Sunday, and I took my powerboat out to go fishing for walleye, and there was hardly any boats out. It was like a 1.5 foot chop out there, and yeah, I guess they can't handle the rough weather.
Was it? It was up there. Wasn't it up there when Christine she about got sank out there? I mean, the weather got real bad, right? Was that St. Clair this year? This year or sometime? I remember
when it was for. Well, she came in June last year, and we pre-fished the Hobie Boss because the Boss was on the 5th Saturday in June. So AJ wanted to have it so that people come pre-fish. But we went out one day. It was 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and we were the only 2 boats out there. Any boats, 2 kayaks. And then when she came back in November, I went out with her one day. It wasn't too bad. The second day, it was brutal. I had to go back to work. And at lunchtime, I came and had her move from the Detroit River over to another spot that I thought would be better, but it wasn't. But I think that was the day she landed 4 or 5 muskie and big ones. She was the only boat out there. Yeah, I think you saw
that's what I'm
the video. Yeah, it is, because the video looked pretty bad. I think you all know when you take video and you think it's really rough and you look at the video, it didn't look so bad. That one looked real bad, so it was a lot worse.
So we were talking about before we came on live about the COVID situation up there. What has that done to y'all's fishing? Are any ramps closed, parks closed, anything like that, like happened in the U.S.?
Yeah, they closed our ramps and the Ontario. So Ontario is like a state, and we call it a province, and what your governor would be is our premier. So our premier an executive order, he closed things off, but it was our mayor of Windsor. So the municipality here decided to close the ramp. So then people started launching their boats from where we go to launch our kayaks off beaches. So then the city went, and we only have a few places to launch our kayak on Lake St. Clair. So the city went and put gates up. So we couldn't get out with our kayak even. So fortunately, I bought a boat in December. I launched it for 25 miles down on the other end of Lake St. Clair and brought it home and parked it. So I was able to go walleye fishing with my boat. I couldn't get out in the kayak, but I can get out in my boat. And the other thing they did is they kept the Americans from coming over fishing for walleye. We have a big walleye run on the Detroit River, and it's like hundreds of boats when it's really in May. Usually April, May is real thick. But the RCMP, the OPP, and the police, they were chasing the Americans off the water, where they can legally be on our water as long as they don't anchor, come to shore, or tie up. But for some reason, they didn't want them over here. And the Americans let us. We can go over there. They leave us alone.
I don't blame them. But dirty Americans.
They pay for a license.
All this freedom over here, you know. Fishing when you want to, man.
Well, it was a state by state situation here. I mean, people were, some states that were basically shutting down everything, and others it was a free for all, and they were giving out free fishing licenses. So it just kind of depended where you were.
Tennessee was pretty laxed about it. We didn't have anything crazy going on. Everybody was, still out fishing for the most part. They kept an eye on tournaments. Like if they didn't want any big like physical gatherings, but as far as going to fish, they didn't really say much.
Well, we had a lot of the original people that came and fished the Border City Classic were here, and the shop that I work at, I had a big enough property. I allowed them to camp there. I brought a porta john in, and they camped there. And they came here yesterday for we had a fish fry on Sunday. We had a fish fry on Sunday. That's what we went out for the walleye. And we had 9 people here, and I was worried. No, I can't do that.
No. All right.
And honestly, I didn't catch enough small ones. I wouldn't do the big ones, but I didn't catch any small ones. I think the smallest fish I caught was 16-inch, and that's at a 30.
I feel terrible for you, Richard. Terrible. That's my
But
biggest fish.
anyway, that was work.
Saturday night on Chickamauga was 16 inches, largemouth. Biggest was 16 inches.
Yeah, but
It's
you've
rough.
got certain times of the year that they're pretty big, right? So you have the same issue we have here. Is that this week right now is our big week, and I've seen the fish you pull out of Chickamauga sometimes.
Dude, this is monster time. The problem is we had that FLW MLF Super Tournament in town all week, so they freaking smashed fish all week long, and we go out there Saturday night and try to pick up the scraps. There was, I think, 3 boat tournaments Saturday night too. Jason Lambert, he finished second in the local CBA tournament Saturday night. It takes a beating. That's the only thing about it, man. Is like whenever it's on, like everybody wants to come, hold a tournament there. Tricky, real tricky.
We had that happen last year. Like in the fall, we have a week in first week of October, we can get the big ones again, right? And there's a certain spot no one ever touches. The tournament's come here. They've never found it except for last year. What's the long-haired guy's name there from Bassmasters from Minnesota?
Josh Stewart.
He won. No. Oh yeah, that's right. Same guy. Same guy. Okay, I got it.
You talking about Seth?
Anyways, huh?
Seth Fighter,
he found
Feeder,
our spot.
Fighter.
Seth Fighter.
Yeah.
Seth Feeder, yeah. He found our spot. And so they had the video cameras. Everyone saw the backdrop. And there's a red buoy out there. And that's the spot we get our 20. We can go out and get 100 inches in a couple hours. And I went out the next day, and it was powerboat after powerboat. It just killed the spot. We didn't catch a fish this fall there.
That's the place where he stroked it. He put up like 25 or 26 pounds in 5 minutes, wasn't it?
No one ever fishes there, but now they do.
That's nasty.
Yeah. That happened 2 years ago in Belle River. There was a spot straight out from Belle River, which is about 7 miles east of here. The FLW was there, and again, 2 guys were out there fishing and killed it. It was a spot where we fished for muskie. No one ever fishes for bass there. So we went out there, 70 bass boats, 70.
Wow.
And the guy that does the website for FLW, he was out there with another guy from FLW. They came down to fish us, and I said to him, I said, you put that on a map. Look at the boats out there. But believe this, 70 boats out there, we were all killing. I did one of those region KBF weekend deals 2-night. I think we were with Kentucky and Tennessee, and in an hour and 20 minutes, I had 101 inches. And I think I won. That's the only region I ever won. Yeah, and that was south of about 60, 70 bass boats. So last year, that spot was dead. There was no fish there. So you're right. Crazy. When you get these tournaments, and then when they show the video, the locals they can. Oh, there's that house. Okay, there's that boy. They know the spot.
And it's hard to watch, and I hate watching it, but I watched the FLW, and John Cox, like, he started out on probably one of my favorite places on Chickamauga, period. I went out last year, hung over with Shane, and caught like a 21 and a half and an 18 and a half at 9:30 in the morning out of that spot. And then he goes in there with a frog, and I mean, I think he took the early lead on day one, but I mean, now it's on TV, so now everybody's put that on.
Yeah, and not only do they show the backdrop, but they show them on the map.
Yes,
they drop a pin on
FLW. They pin it there.
Yeah,
and anybody can figure that. Anyone can figure that out. Oh, okay, I see where that is.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. They just show it all. I mean, that's just kind of the world we're going to live in forever now with live streaming, and it's not just like they do a 30-minute show and show the highlights. You can sit on that guy's boat and watch him for 20 minutes on that spot and really figure it out.
Yeah. And I think honestly, I think that's going to happen with us too at some point as this grows. I think the only way that we're ever going to get to like a bigger level is probably going to be the same concept as far as live streaming content, where they can sell ad space and they, really have a stream for the day where they can get enough to make an hour action-packed episode out of, I think.
Yeah, even if it's pre-recorded. Even if it's pre-recorded and it's a long
that's what
hour or two episode, it'll still show what they're doing and where they're at. So, but that'll be good.
Yeah,
comes with it. Make you work harder.
Kind of like what they did for Bassmaster 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
The smaller scale.
That's us.
Yep.
Or
That's
10
us.
years ago. Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could pull off the live streaming. I just don't know if we can, kayak tournament organizations can afford the technology.
I don't think it'll be a kayak tournament organization that does it, Jeff.
There you go. Someone that already has it jumps right in.
Yeah. I mean, there's not, really, there's only 2 kayak-oriented tournament organizations now that are doing it. I don't know if Hobie has any interest in it. They might, AJ. But, I think you'd probably see Bass or MLF if they decide to jump in the game. They already have the infrastructure there. I think it wouldn't take much for them to do it, really.
I guess especially at the Bass Championship stuff because they already have everything there. If they wanted to branch off and do a little something like that,
I'd love to see that. Though. I mean, I really would. I would love to keep up with something like that. I think as far as viewership goes, I mean, we get people watching Tourney X now. Throughout the day, you'll get texts and stuff from friends and family and stuff back home. But I think if people actually get to watch and see, like, when it's storming and you're depressed and you absolutely don't want to be out there, or you can't feel your hands, or you just lost a fish off the board, or you drop your phone in the water. Like, there's so much dramatic stuff that happens. Like, I think they can make a pretty captivating edit out of that.
I'm gonna give Dwayne $1 million idea right here. When you click on the name on the Tourney X leaderboard, it'll take you to a live view in their boat. That'd be sick, wouldn't it?
I've heard that tossed around a couple times. I hope Dwayne runs with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, Dwayne, text me a number, call me, let me know. I'll buy Tourney X, run with that idea, and we'll see where it goes. Tonight.
There we
You
go.
better call me tonight.
It's a one night offer, one deal.
Yeah, hurry before I file my taxes.
So, Richard, let's kind of tag off some of that COVID talk again. I know you travel down into the United States to fish a lot of tournaments, typically, at least the big ones.
Yep.
Have you been able to do that this year with the restrictions at the border?
I did get out to Alabama and North Carolina in the beginning of March, but when I got home, I got my paper handed to me, and the government said they only recommended us to isolate for 2 weeks, but the company that I work for, they had already put in that I had to isolate, so I had an extra 2 weeks off. So I sat home.
You got paid for that? That's good.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Now, so has that kept you from coming back down, I guess, for the summer now that they started back, or you're just going to roll with?
No, the border's still closed, and it's closed till July 21st. But from what I'm hearing, they're going to extend it another month. But I've got a trip to Panama paid for already, mostly paid for. My flight's paid for, and I leave from Detroit in December. So I'm kind of getting worried right now.
In December?
In December, yeah.
The U.S. election the U.S. election will be over by then. Nothing to worry about. It'll all be a distant memory.
No, it's not the U.S. I'm worried about. Not the
years,
U.S. I'm worried about. It's a Canadian. It's a Canadian. Our Fidel's son there, our prime minister.
Damn. Oh boy.
You guys saw the pictures, eh?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the pictures?
Can Canada turn our stream off, Jeff? I don't think they can. Right?
I don't know. They don't have that kind of.
I've only heard one person threaten to turn us off, and I don't think he's Canadian. I don't know.
Okay.
Production company is, but
They'll stop importing things from Canada is what they'll do because.
Are you going to Los Buzos? Is that where you're going?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
going
there any
there.
spots open? Is Tim going?
We still have spots open. I'm pretty sure. They last I heard they had spots open. Tim's not going. Tim had a big plan of all these tournaments this year, and all his plans got pretty much washed. And so he's doing a couple of tournaments.
What are the dates? When are you going?
December 5th to the 11th, something like that. But you got to leave a day early.
Yeah. Because it's like an 8-hour bus ride or something, isn't it?
No, I think it's only. I hope it's not 8 hours. I think it's more like 4 hours. I think it's more like 4 hours. But anyway,
I got the quote from Rob Field. I'm sure for him it felt like 8 hours, but
yeah,
there's no telling what influenced that estimation.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we have 7 of us going. I think it was 10 for a full crew. I don't think that they've filled it yet. We got a couple Indiana guys. We got a Toronto guy, and my brother and myself.
You lost him in Indiana.
Who do you have coming from Indiana? Jacob Wheeler? Is he going to Los Buzos to cut off all the kayak anglers down there too? Fucking clown. Yeah. You're gonna need more whiskey, Rich.
Yeah. No, I'm still good. It's this is one of my favorites. It's Pike Creek.
So,
One of my sons gave it to me, and he thought it was kind of cool because it's the same name as the street I live on. I actually grew up in Pike Creek, and I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. Then I researched it. Well, we get about 20 warehouses just down the street here, and it's a Hiram Walker's product. They fermented there for 10 years, so it was actually Pike Creek.
Wow.
So it's a pretty popular Hiram Walker product. I think you can get it in most of the states, but it's pretty good.
Are you sponsored by Pike Creek now?
I should be.
hey, every tournament I've been to where you guys have made the trip, the Canadians, there's a core group of Canadians, and I've heard stories about going to have whiskey with Canadians. I haven't done it yet, but is that part of your strategy to try to put a dent in the field, that you just like whiskey people up and then roll out the next day with a smaller field?
Bunch of rookies.
Nah, I needed it to go to sleep at night. I sleep better with a couple shots of whiskey. So I usually bring some of the groups that go there. They always want a bottle of double oaked bourbon, and I'll bring one of those, or I'll bring some Jack Daniels if I'm in Tennessee. I try to roll with wherever I am.
To roll with the culture.
But I always bring a bottle of Canadian whiskey too. Yep.
That's good, man. Just medicinal. That's all you're doing.
That's
Traveling
right.
with your
That's
medicine.
right. Yep.
Have you
Try
ever
not
got
to
to
drink
hang out
too much of
with
that
Rich?
medicinal stuff.
Who, me?
Jeff?
No, we've sat and visited a couple tournaments.
We met in Arkansas. I know. Jeff talked to me about his. Jeff talked to me about his attempt at trying we call it a plant-based diet. How you doing with that?
Well, I just got done eating about a 1 pound. I just got done eating a 1 pound steak, so I'd say I'm failing miserably.
Oh, Katie, clutch! She just posted a link to your whiskey.
Pike Creek
Rich. Man,
she's got the fastest internet in the world. Canadian Mist.
Cornbread's here.
Clifton Allen just said Canadian Mist. Is that a thing you guys drink up there?
I don't drink that.
Oh boy.
No, I appreciate you trying to coach me up, Rich. I did it for about 2 months, and then I'm completely off the wagon now. I've failed.
I was kind of a fussy eater at one time, but my wife, I just told her when she started this, I said, just don't tell me what's in it, and I'll eat it. And I'm probably down about 35 pounds since I started, and I don't go hungry. So whiskey, water, coffee, and plant-based foods, but I still eat fish.
Okay.
A lot of fish.
All right, you can do with fish.
See, I did it the wrong way. I was just saying, okay, carbs are plant-based, so I just ate like 1 million carbs and gained about 20 pounds.
Yeah. We still eat a lot of carbs. I mean, you need carbs.
Yeah.
You just gotta have the right carbs. Not potato chips and.
I did it wrong, man. I did it wrong. I failed. But that's all right. I'm back on trying something different now. But I sure appreciate the tips, for sure. Tim Percy said I'm normal, so I appreciate you, Tim.
Tim don't like anything. Meet Tim. Tim don't like nothing. Did you see the video of him? Did you see the video of him? You talk about drama on videos and that. Did you see that when I threw his jerkbait in his face? He was on my spot. The whole frickin' lake, and Tim come within 50 feet of me. Oh, yeah.
Is this true? Come on, man.
Tim Percy, come on.
He said he was pre-fishing. He said he was pre-fishing last year for the Boston. He found that spot when he was out with a fellow from the West Coast there. Yeah.
Hey, how'd you guys do the tournament? Was it a shotgun start or launch at a certain time? How'd y'all do that?
We launched. We got half an hour to get to our spot. Okay. And it was a motor event. So Tim was gonna make fun of me. So I used the motor to get to my spot. I turned it off at 6:25. Lines were in at 6:30, and I didn't turn the motor back on until lines were out at 3:30. So I really didn't use the motor. I don't like fishing with a motor.
Run?
I've got the Torpedo Evolve.
Okay.
Were you the first one there to your spot?
Yeah, there was nobody else around.
Oh.
Tim made his way over
later in the morning
to
get to your spot.
He didn't get there till about I think when he looked at the leaderboard, when I uploaded all my fish, that's when he came.
Old bent rod
That's
pattern.
slick. I like it.
It works in
I
Canada
like it,
too,
man.
right? It works in Canada just the
Hey,
same.
I hear it, man. I hear it.
Tim's,
I'm wondering now,
Nothing
maybe.
says fishing tournament like rubbing elbows with your buddy all day long.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Tim.
yeah.
That's how you know you're on them.
Tim chimed in and said Richard's never fished the Border City Classic, and all of a sudden he has spots.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I live on the Hobie Boss last year. That was a spot I fished, and I got 96.5 inches on day 2. So yeah, I got spots.
That's the Richard Ofner rock pile. Get off him.
Yeah.
So you might as well just share it with us. I'll put a little slide up and we'll show the world. So the next time there's a tournament up there, we'll just send everybody out there to that spot. You can find a new spot.
Oh, you could put a pin on that. You can put a pin on that and you still wouldn't be able to find it. It's
Really?
flat. Everything's flat. If you can't read side imaging, you won't find it. Actually, I got a credit. When AJ and Christine were here in June, we went out during the week fishing. I'm pretty sure AJ found the spot. So he was jerk baiting along there, going around through the shallows, and all of a sudden he hit a big spot, and we kind of developed the whole area there. And yeah, I'm going to credit AJ and Christine for helping to find that spot. It was a part of the lake I never fished before.
I remember when AJ fished, man. It was crazy. Like the guy's he's really good. No, seriously. So they've been in Chattanooga in the Dayton area. They've been fishing our local club stuff, man. AJ has not forgotten how to fish.
I've seen those big suckers. Oh yeah.
He's back. He's back in the game. I like it.
Are they about to set up shop permanently there, Ryan? There's rumors flying.
I hope so, man. I actually got a phone call on the way down here to Florida from one of the MLF guys, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm coming down." He's like, "I just bought some property in Chattanooga." So, dude, I would love if we could get a solid little community of 6 or 8 people that have some influence over the whole deal. If we get everybody together on the same page, like I think we could do a lot with the local stuff in general. So I'm hoping. I've already talked to the city of Dayton. I think we're going to do a little thing like kayak fishing lives here, and do a little shoot with AJ and Christine and Steve O and myself, and try to build it up. I'd like to see some bigger tournaments come through too.
Well, y'all are sitting in the honey hole, Tennessee River, and
We're
all of a sudden
trying,
you're
man.
going. So
We're trying.
I mean, it's no Lake Washita, but it's pretty tight over there.
Lord, son. Listen, Jeff. I catch more fish in that swimming pool than I did in Washita. You can keep every bit of that place.
Come on, Richard. What'd you think of that? What'd you think of our state, man? It was pretty down here, man.
It was a pretty lake.
Scenery was great. It was a dry
scenery
county.
Was awesome. Yeah.
2 dead batteries. It was pretty rough, man. You can keep Washita.
Sorry, I keep bringing that up. I don't know why. I know it's a sore spot.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, what do you got coming up next, Richard? I know you said the border's closed. You guys got more tournaments coming up in Canada there that you're going to compete in?
So I decided to fish the Ontario Kayak Bass Trail, and we had the first one a week before the Border City Classic, and then the next one is July 18th. Then there's one August 15th, which is an hour away from me, and we have an Ontario Kayak Bassmasters Championship in September. And that's on a lake I've fished before up there, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be pretty much all I get, and I'm hoping that the border opens that I can do the last Hobie event on Lake Gadsden, or is that the town of Gadsden? Gadsden.
That's the Coosa River
in Alabama.
Coosa River. Yeah,
Coosa River.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I can get to that because, I mean, I got a free ticket to the national championship, and that's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the week after that. So, I mean, even if Tim wants to fish just for fun.
You can have my ticket to the national championship.
Well, I didn't pay for it. I got a free draw and went for entering it early, and I got my name drawn, so I got my money back.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous! I got my money back too, but it was for a different reason.
Oh. I hadn't planned. I wasn't going to fish it in April. I decided not to, but now that if I can get over there, if I'm there already, I might as well do it. And
I'm fishing that one for sure. And I think Ike's going to fish that one too. I think the whole Ike Live crew is going to come down and hang out for that one. So make sure you're in town. That I promise you that will be an entertaining event.
Oh, good to hear.
Ryan, break that one down for me. Is that going to be an actual river event, or is it slow down to where you fishing some lake stuff too?
No. I mean, well, they say it's Coosa River, and I mean usually the upper end of the lakes have a pretty decent amount of current through them. But Richard, you came down and fished the BASS, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So,
It's pretty much
yeah.
the same thing, isn't it?
Is it
And
above
I
or
don't
below
know.
Logan, or is Logan included in it, or what?
Above.
Have you?
Above.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I mean, all those lakes. So those lakes are similar to TVA lakes, except on the Coosa River they don't allow barge traffic anymore. So it's just power generation dams. It's not lock through type deal. But I mean, you got current on the north ends, and then you have lakes and docks and offshore stuff on the south ends.
It's a good time of the year too, isn't it, down there for fish, or is it got to be
Supposedly,
closer
hell,
to
I
November?
don't know, man. Dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Coosa spots. I know they eat chatterbaits and spinnerbaits, and don't ever fish below the floodgates. Those are three things that I learned from BASS. Like, do not do that.
Okay. That one's been kind of on my periphery is trying to get to that. It's the week before our state championship. So
God, please come fish a tournament, Jeff. Please.
Yeah.
I miss you.
It's
I told you,
What's the
Dardanelle,
nearest
man.
town?
Dardanelle.
What's the nearest town there? Gadsden, right?
Gadsden, or there was.
Or
Where did we
Guntersville is
stay
only
last
45
time?
minutes.
Yeah, I'd say Gadsden's probably going to be the closest bigger town to that. We were in Pell City last time, and that was kind of a map dot, but this is a little further up the road than Pell City. Jesse Halverson claims that he has the spots we want to go, Richard. He has this. He's got the spot scouted out. Okay, so I don't know if what that entails. I don't know if we need to bring dollars, rolls, and quarters. Who knows? It's Alabama. Maybe teeth. Maybe if you have some teeth you can donate. I don't know.
Hey, Jesse just commented and said that there are big spots that time of year. I don't know if that's on fish or he's got code talking to you guys. I don't know.
Listen, if you're talking to Jesse Halverson looking for fish, you're talking to the wrong one. You want to find some other local intel. Jesse fished a Pickwick tournament during the day Saturday, drove 2.5, 3 hours north to Chickamauga and fished our night tournament Saturday night.
Wow.
He's an animal.
And then drove back home, which is 2.5 hours away in Coleman, Alabama.
Jeez,
he's wild.
He's a better man than I am.
He's an
I
animal.
like to have my 6-7 hours sleep before I go out in the water.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are watching this, we appreciate you. And if you have any questions for our guest Richard here, fire them off before we let him go. Or if you got a question for Ryan or I, there's some stuff happening behind Ryan. You may have a question about that. I don't know. There's some.
I'm just at a pool, man.
I know. I didn't know what was going on back there. But as you guys have figured out over the last few episodes, Ryan is always in a different spot. So
I try to be.
He's on a balcony. He's at the pool. He's on the farm. There's no telling where he's going to be for this. So
never know. You never know, man.
Keeps it interesting.
I try to.
Yeah. So 2021, we don't know what that's going to hold. I'm hoping that we get back to a normal type tournament schedule. What are you
nice.
Yeah, what are you going to try to do then, Richard? Have you thought that far ahead? Are you going to get focus on one of these major trails in the U.S.? Or are you just going to pick and choose which events you like?
I mean, my tape. I'm at the other end of the tape measure, so my years of fishing are running out. So I got to do whatever I can while I can do it. I'll be 60 next week, so
happy birthday! Happy early birthday!
Thank you, but if I can go out and do it, I'm going to be there. I know the boss really good, so I can get the time off I need.
Well, come on down, man. We miss you. I hope you Canadians get back in here, get to fish with us a little bit.
Yeah, we're hoping. Like I said, Tim had a pretty good plan for the year, and I did too. But every week I was crossing off this one, adding this one, and believe it or not, with our dollar, as bad as it is, like we pay about $1.40 for an American dollar, and even with that, to travel in the U.S. is cheaper than traveling in Canada because your accommodations are cheaper, Your gas is cheaper, even with the exchange. So that's the reason we fish down there. Plus, overall, I think you guys are. I think it's more friendly down there too. I mean, we get up in the north of Toronto, and you get the Toronto crowd, and I don't know.
So
I guess you
here,
compare those to Massachusetts.
I was gonna say. So down south is like super friendly. The further north you go, the bigger assholes they are. So does
No,
it
Michigan's
continue
good.
once you cross the border?
Not by us. When you get to Toronto, so the tournament series that I'm doing in the OKBT is mostly in the Kawarthas, which is Toronto cottage country, and Toronto people are just disgusting. I'm so sorry, they're
What is
ignorant.
cottage country? Is that like Canadian hood? Is that what that means? Like we out in cottage country, y'all. Like what?
Cottage country is where all the okay.
Amish
What can I
Amish
compare? You know, in
mafia?
northern
What is
Michigan.
that?
No. You know, in northern Michigan, where all the people with money got a second house, a nice place.
Up in the mitten?
Ah,
Up in the mitten? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
So north of Toronto in the Muskokas and North Bay, Huntsville, Parry Sound. It's beautiful. That's a Canadian Shield, and it's just and the traffic up there. And who wants to? I drive middle of the night to miss it, and it's just that much more friendly when I go down to U.S.
Okay. I like it. Come
yeah,
on back.
we like to hear that. We
And
pride ourselves on
cheaper.
being friendly.
Tim Percy says he's driving you anyway, so I don't know why you're complaining about driving, Rich. Tim just said he's driving Miss Daisy, so.
Oh, he thinks that he's the only one that can drive.
Control freak, huh? I got you. That's fine.
Yeah. My PA 14 from 2019 still warped from his trailer, so I don't know what we're gonna do next time. He's got ratchet straps. I don't use ratchet straps.
Yeah, no one does. Only
2
Tim.
weeks 2 weeks on his trailer. My kayak never did. It's lopsided now.
Oh man,
Still works
Tim,
good.
come
though.
on, brother. Hobie makes
Oh, his side-
lock straps.
His side didn't. His side didn't warp. Just my side. I think he fixed that.
He's
Hey.
probably trying to sabotage you so he can get to your spot first.
That's it. He was trying to burn your spot and break your boat all at the same time. It's all right, though. All's fair in competition.
Yeah.
Any questions out there from anybody? Fire them off. We're not going to keep Richard much longer. I know Ryan's probably trying to go swimming. He's right there at the pool.
Dude,
Sunburn.
I'm done with this. I got to work tomorrow.
Oh. Well,
Real work, like
I got
actual work.
I got you. You flying out tomorrow, or are you just working down there somewhere?
No. I've got a hospital like 10 minutes from here, so
Okay.
I'm down here for work, Jeff.
Oh, I thought you were on vacation again. Are you in Panama
No,
City
brother.
again, or Pensacola? Where are you at?
Pensacola. I'm going
Pensacola.
to fish with Barton a couple days down here, so we're going to try to get out and get on some tarpon, some redfish. That's the plan.
All right.
So is Pensacola got the COVID going too, or is that just Southern Florida?
Well, actually, a guy posted earlier today that Southern Florida was shut down completely. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the beach today. We just ate dinner at a little beach bar. I mean, everything was still running pretty well. Where we're staying, though, like all the businesses, like you have to have a mask on. I went to the tackle shop earlier. Like you have to have some kind of face covering, a buff or something.
Oh, wow.
To go by sinkers. Like, I don't know.
Oh, so we're not the only one then. Okay.
It's state by state, town by town, pretty much down here, Richard.
So Bogdan wants to know, I know Bogdan catches a lot of largemouth on St. Clair. He said, are Canadian smallies spawning right now?
No, it's all mostly post-spawn.
Post-spawn, Bogdan.
Yeah, it will be the end a little bit. Like I did catch some on some, I did see some shell beds in 13 feet of water. Believe it or not, I could still see. And I did get a few today off the shell beds.
All right, I got you. So something interesting happened. Our next guest is going to be Russell Johnson, who won the KBF Susquehanna. Is that where it was,
Yep.
Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So the KBF Susquehanna. There was a KBF Kentucky Lake also Saturday, Sunday this weekend. No surprise, Russ Snyder's won Saturday. I hear, rumor has it, there's some controversy over Sunday's event. So Russ Snyder's is the winner that was announced. Well, apparently Siddiqui was fishing a creek down south and left to submit his fish, and his fish wouldn't submit. The tourney wasn't showing up on Tourney X whatsoever. So he, screenshots it, sends it to the tournament director, sends all his fish in, like, hey, this app's not working, my
Doesn't
tournament's
work.
not showing up. And no, it didn't work. And I mean, from everything I'm seeing, they just they just said, sorry, bro, kick rocks. Like, you're out of here. Like, none of those fish counts. Siddiqui would have won Sunday, is what I'm hearing on
So-
Inch. Yeah, like that's some that stings a little bit.
So he sent them all in before the cutoff?
Yeah. I
Oh.
mean, this again. I was not in the vehicle or on the receiving end of the pictures. This is just from conversation. But yeah, sent all his fish in, sent the screenshot, and they were like, "Oh well, if you would have called, it would have been okay."
That's probably.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah,
probably
so
covered.
screenshots. You may have texted me all your fish, but if you would have called, then then it's different. If you would have FaceTimed me from the shower, then it's different. But I don't know. I mean, it's always some craziness going on somewhere.
That's covered in the.
I haven't encountered that part yet.
That's covered in the Hobbenrich clause 27-246.
I mean, I've had fish DQ'd like 6 hours after a tournament, but I've never came across. And I mean, it's technology, man. Like, the more online we move, the more potential there is for stuff like this to happen. But I think as any tournament director or entity putting on the tournament, like, you have to take responsibility on that end. Like, if the technology you give the anglers fails, you have to have, there's got to be some kind of catch-all. Like, you can't just be like, oh, sorry, the app I made you use, didn't work out this time, but you're out $1,200 or $2,200 or whatever, whatever the amount is. Like, that's tough. Like, that kind of stings. It's not like Siddiqui's a rookie, like, he's fished hundreds of tournaments. The guy is in his truck, asleep at a boat ramp everywhere in the country at all times. So I don't know. That's a tough pill to swallow there.
I wonder, the regular contingency at live tournaments when we actually used to meet up before all this was you had to be back in line before the cutoff. But with that not being the case, I wonder what their contingency is for all the tournaments, BOS or KBF or whatever.
So I think from what I understand on that one is there was, an off the water time, and then there was like a 30-minute or an hour upload window. Either way, that's when he figured it out. I think he was fishing a creek that didn't have any service. He left, said, I know how far I have to go to get internet, and then slides in like 20 minutes of playtime left there in case something did glitch up, goes to the place to upload, and then nothing's working. So I don't know. I mean, that's
probably needed it. I bet if he turned his phone off and restarted, it probably would have worked.
Sometimes
because
if you
when
put it in
you
the water
when you
and shake it.
Does his phone leak too, Ryan? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if his phone leaks. I think you're referring to the hull of his boat. Is that what you're?
No, I'm just kidding around. Yeah.
No, you shot your shot there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Listen, when he gets his natives, that's over with. All right. Well, wait a minute. Time out. There. Anyway.
Well, good on him for catching the fish. Regardless, sounds like he had a good string, and if he'd have beat Russ, he had a hell of a string. So good on him.
Yeah, no, he caught some. I mean, congrats to Russ. I would love to have Russ on for the 50th time, but I guess we're gonna have to wait a month or two before we bring Russ on again. If I don't know, I mean, this will pretty much be the Russ Snyder show with Jeff and Ryan as guests if he keeps winning. It seems like he's won pretty much everything he's touched.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have him and Jacob Wheeler on to talk about kayaks and bass boats.
God, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Hey, before we get you out of here, Richard, Tim already answered him in the comments, but Clifton asked, is the jackhammer, or I guess chatterbaits in general, as popular up in Canada as they are down here in the United States?
Maybe not Lake St. Clair, but, I mean, for the few weed beds we do have, grass beds, weed beds, whatever you want to call it, the jackhammer will work in there, but once you get into the Kawarthas, where you get into these lakes, there's a lot of grass. Yeah, the jackhammer works there too. Lake St. Clair is not. I mean, you don't need to go spend a lot of money. But the jackhammers we have are for when we come down south.
I got you.
We got you. All right.
Bunch of TRDs and you're good to go up there. Simple.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Last year the TRD didn't do it for me. It's weird. The Ned rig bite wasn't it. It was basically the swim bait, drop shot. Yeah, swim bait, drop shot pretty well. Crankbait, DT6s, DT10s, uh, square bills. But this year, it was just so slow. The Ned rig was all that work. I hate catching all my fish in the Ned rig, but I'm not that bad that I won't use it. I'll get it out. I got a really good Ned rig rod, and it does well for me. Lose hardly any fish. Lifted jigs. You guys use lifted jigs or use the actual Z-Man? You got to use Z-Man, I guess.
Yeah, I use the Z-Man.
I use a guy down here makes mine, but I've seen seen advertisements for the lifteds. Yeah.
Lifted jigs have it's a weedless, and I hook weedless and I can throw it anywhere, and it's done really well for me. I lose very few fish.
Is that the EWG, like the Y-gap hook? That's lifted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the one Z-Man came out with. Yeah, you know the Z-Man one. It's got the little weight on it. I tried that one. I couldn't hook fish with it. I was losing a lot of fish. So when I went to lifted jigs doesn't have any weight on the EWG hook. So it works great.
Interesting. I use the Z-Man, the Pro Tungsten with the weed guard. That's the one that I use religiously. Honestly, that's all that's in my tackle box right now is just those. Katie Backett wants to know, what's your favorite drop shot plastic, Richard?
Senko. Senko's been a 4-inch Senko. 3-inch to 4-inch Senko. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The 100-inch day I had in Lake St. Clair in an hour and 40 minutes of smallmouth was a 4-inch Senko.
Wacky rigs?
On a drop shot, yeah.
Wacky rig it or Texas rig it on there?
I had it on a octopus hook, but just nose hooked.
Nose hooked, all right.
Not even wacky rig.
Wow.
Yeah. Wacky rig works good too. Yeah.
Like a Yamamoto Senko, like legit full-fledged Senko. That's okay. I wouldn't have done that.
But special colors though. Special colors. I got my color, green pumpkin with purple and green speck. I forget the number. It's a 309 or something like that.
I pretty much throw green pumpkin worms almost. I'll throw June bug some, but it's pretty much green pumpkin or June bug. I'll throw black if I'm night fishing, but those
black
that's
if
the only
it's cloudy.
3 colors I use.
Black and green pumpkin and June bug. Yeah, you're right. That's it.
And do you know how much we think about that stuff? A lot. Like you just said, black if it's cloudy. Do you know how much a fish would actually care? Probably 0. But we're like, listen, black if it's cloudy. That's the only thing they're gonna buy.
Or if I run out of green pumpkin. If I run out of green pumpkin, the black comes off.
Hey.
Exactly.
Ashley's dad taught me to fish, and he always said, "Look, the bait doesn't change color that's in the water. So whatever you're throwing, it's fine. You know, the shad never changed color."
Yeah, he was right.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he was exactly right.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions coming in. I'm sure Richard may need another refill on the whiskey glass there. I don't know, but
no. After that, that's bedtime.
You good? Bedtime? All right. Well, we're gonna let you get out of here, man. Ryan, you got anything else for us?
Getting up early to go.
What are you doing? You're getting up early to do something.
Getting up early to go fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, go smack. Post them up on your socials so we can see them.
Taking someone out that hasn't been out in Lake St. Clair yet, this part of Lake St. Clair. And then Thursday, I got a 17-year-old kid coming here. I think his mom driving him down. He wants to go fish for smallmouth. So we'll take him out for smallmouth.
That's awesome, man. Similar to that, I'm taking 60-year-old Jody Campbell out to catch his first topwater redfish at night tomorrow. So I can't wait to see that. He's gonna lose his mind. It's gonna.
Hey, before we go, Ryan, is the new bridge done down there? Is that still viable?
Yeah, no, the new bridge is done. The old bridge is gone.
Okay, I was down there last summer and it was in progress still. But.
Yeah.
So
I'm not fished the new bridge yet. It's gonna happen tomorrow.
Okay.
So you're fishing for redfish in Pensacola?
Magnums, monsters.
Okay. Yeah. Really? Okay. I thought it was just in Louisiana.
No, brother. No. Call Brandon Barton or Matthew Van. Either one of them. They both run guide trips out here. They will show you the night of your life, Richard. And for me to say that to you is, that's a 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, it's awesome. It's really something else. They got a real special place down here. I'm looking
What time
forward.
of year?
You'll see some pictures.
What time of year?
All of it, all the times of year. I
Re-
come down in the summer
really?
because that's, I mean, yeah, but I mean, honestly, there's a lot of big fish that hang in the area. So
Okay.
I highly recommend that experience at least once. Just do it one time to check it off the list.
We'll do that.
Bring your topwater baits and hold on with both hands because these are not slot reds. These are giants.
Okay.
It's good
I
times.
got my taste when I was down in Louisiana for the Hobie Worlds, and I only got to go out one day because I was part of the road cruise. But yeah, it was pretty good. But actually, my wife got to see more than I did as a part of the media boat. But yeah, we want to get down to do some redfish fishing.
There's some good ones. You need to come down and fish with these guys for sure.
All right.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Ryan, don't work too hard. Richard, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to do this with us.
Bottles empty. It's time to go.
All right. We are
Appreciate
gone.
it, man.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next Monday. We are out of here.